Hello everyone, they're crazy. That's what they said when someone tried to invent a flying machine. That's what they whispered when a woman dreamed of becoming the most powerful media mogul in the world. That's what they shouted when an entrepreneur poured his last dollar into building electric cars and launching rockets into space. But here's the twist. Every time the world called someone crazy, they were standing at the starting line of greatness. Because success doesn't come to those who play it safe. It doesn't favor the normal, the average, or the expected. No, success favors the bold. It favors the people who see a door when others see a wall. The ones who dare to speak dreams so big they sound absurd. The ones who are willing to be laughed at, doubted, ignored, and even ridiculed because they believe in something bigger than the noise. See, in a world obsessed with logic, routine, and staying in line, the people who change history are the ones who color outside of it. They don't just think outside the box, they set the whole box on fire. Success demands a certain level of crazy enough to believe you can do what's never been done. Crazy enough to keep going when everyone tells you to quit. Crazy enough to show up every single day knowing nobody claps for the work in progress. Let's be real, the road to success is messy, it's lonely, it's filled with risk, rejection, late nights, early mornings, and countless moments of doubt. And most people, they tap out. But the ones who don't, the ones who stay in the game, who adapt, evolve, fall, and rise again, they're the ones who wear the title crazy like armor because they know it's not an insult, it's a badge of honor. In this journey we're about to take, we'll explore what that crazy really means. Not the reckless kind, but the kind that turns dreams into movements. The kind that fuels vision, powers belief, strengthens work ethic, and builds unshakable resilience. So if they've ever called your dream crazy, good, you're exactly where you need to be. Because the truth is simple. If your vision doesn't scare you a little or make other people laugh, it's probably not big enough. Let's dive into what it truly takes to succeed in a world that's constantly trying to tame your fire. Let's talk about why success demands a certain level of crazy. Every great success story begins with a vision, but not just any vision. It begins with a vision so bold, so massive, and so outside the lines of logic that most people dismiss it instantly. They call it impossible. They call it foolish. They call it crazy. But here's the truth. The people who change the world are the ones who see something that doesn't yet exist and believe in it like it's already real. Think about it. Before Walt Disney built Disneyland, he saw it in his mind, a magical kingdom where imagination ruled. People laughed. They scoffed. They said it was childish nonsense. But Walt kept building in his head long before the first brick was laid. Before Oprah Winfrey became a media powerhouse, she was a poor girl from Mississippi told she was too emotional, too dramatic, too different for television. But she had a vision of a platform that wasn't just entertainment but a space for truth, healing, and transformation. Before Elon Musk built Tesla and SpaceX, he saw a world powered by sustainable energy and humans becoming a multiplanetary species. Sound crazy? It did to most of the world, until he started making it happen. The lesson? Visionaries are always misunderstood at first. That's the price of seeing something no one else can. And that's where the crazy begins, not in the doing but in the seeing. Because when you have a vision bigger than your current reality, it means you're thinking differently. You're no longer following the crowd, you're stepping off the safe path and onto one that hasn't been paved yet. And that scares people. Why? Because if you succeed, it forces others to question why they stayed small. But here's what you need to remember. Your vision is your gift. It's your glimpse of what's possible, even if nobody else gets it. It's your North Star, the thing that keeps pulling you forward when life gets tough, when progress is slow, when failure shows up. And yes, you'll feel crazy sometimes. You'll question yourself. You'll wonder if you're dreaming too big. But that's a sign you're on the right track. Because average dreams don't create extraordinary results. Wild visions do. Here's the hard part. Most people never reach their true potential, not because they're not talented, but because they shrink their vision to fit their circumstances. They look around at what they don't have. No money, no connections, no support, and they scale down their dreams accordingly. But not you. You have to flip the script. Don't reduce your dream to match your situation. Raise your mindset to match your dream. Start seeing the invisible and believing it's inevitable. That's what visionaries do. They dream without limits. They write goals that sound insane. They plan like it's possible, even when the odds are stacked. Let me be clear. Having vision doesn't mean everything will fall into place immediately. In fact, vision often invites struggle, resistance, and failure. But those are just tests designed to see how serious you are about what you see. So what do you do when people don't see what you see? Keep building. Build in silence. Build with passion. Build with consistency. Because one day the same people who called you crazy will call you genius. The same people who laughed will ask how you did it. But you'll know the truth. You did it because you saw it when no one else did. You believed it when no one else would. You chased it when everyone else settled. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. So guard your vision, feed it, nurture it, fight for it. Because in a world full of followers and copycats, you were born to lead. And it all starts with seeing the impossible. Success demands a certain level of crazy, and it all begins with a vision only you can see. You can have the boldest vision in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, it will remain nothing more than a fantasy. Here's the truth. Success doesn't start with the world believing in you. It starts with you believing in yourself, even when no one else does. Let's be real. There will be moments, many of them, when no one sees what you see. Not your friends, not your family, not your teachers, not your mentors. Sometimes not even the people closest to you. In those moments it won't be applause that carries you forward. It will be belief. Belief is the invisible fuel of every successful person. It's what gets you out of bed before the sun. It's what keeps you going when the bank account is empty. It's what makes you stand back up after every rejection, every failure, every closed door. The world will doubt you. That's a given. You might even hear it in their tone. Are you sure that's realistic? Maybe you should try something safer. You're doing too much. You're not really qualified for that. But you know what? That doubt doesn't belong to you. It belongs to them, to their fears, their limitations, their comfort zones. Don't inherit it. Don't carry it. Don't let it shape you. Because the greatest thing you can ever do is bet on yourself. Bet on your potential. Bet on your ability to grow. Bet on the fact that you may not be there yet, but you're willing to become the person who gets there. Ask anyone who's achieved something extraordinary, and they'll tell you, there was a moment when the room went quiet, a moment when nobody clapped, a moment when the only voice they heard was their own. And in that moment they had to choose, give up and be understood, or keep going and be misunderstood. Those who win in life choose to keep going, even when their belief looks delusional to others, because deep down they've decided something powerful. I would rather fail believing in myself than succeed by following someone else's fear. Let's talk about belief like a muscle. It grows with use. The more you practice trusting yourself, the stronger that belief becomes. Start small, keep promises to yourself, follow through on your plans, back your ideas, let action reinforce belief, because belief isn't just mindset, it's motion. You don't wait to feel confident. You build confidence by showing up when it's hard, when it's scary, when no one else claps. And listen, this isn't arrogance, this isn't ego, this is self-trust. This is saying, even if I don't have all the answers yet, I trust myself to figure it out. This is saying, even if I fall, I know how to get back up. That kind of belief, it's rare, it's powerful, it's magnetic. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. Belief also means silencing your inner critic, the voice that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough. That voice is a liar. It's the voice of fear, and fear has one job: to keep you small. But belief says I can grow. Belief says I'm not finished yet. Belief says watch me. You want proof? Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Albert Einstein was labeled slow and challenged. But each of them believed when it mattered most, when no one else did. You don't need a crowd to start. You need courage. You don't need applause to act. You need commitment. So bet on yourself, even if they don't understand, even if they don't understand, even if they laugh, even if they walk away, because one day they'll ask how you did it, and your answer will be simple: I believed when no one else did. That's not just confidence, that's crazy belief, and success demands that level of crazy. You can have a powerful vision, you can have unshakable belief, but if you're not willing to work like your life depends on it, none of it matters. Because the truth is, there are no shortcuts to greatness, no cheat codes, no fast passes, no magic formula. Behind every overnight success is a mountain of unseen work. Late nights, early mornings, lonely hours, and countless sacrifices that most people never see. That's where crazy comes in. Not crazy in the reckless sense, but crazy in your level of commitment. Crazy in how hard you're willing to push. Crazy in how deep you'll dig when everyone else taps out. Let's be honest. Most people want success until they realize what it costs. They want the glory, not the grind. They want the applause, not the sweat. They want the prize, but they're not willing to pay the price. But the people who actually win, they're different. They fall in love with the process. They show up on the days they feel tired, uninspired, or completely defeated. They push past comfort. They train when no one's watching. They keep their heads down and their standards high. That's not normal. That's a different breed. That's crazy work ethic. Think about Kobe Bryant, known for his 4 a.m. workouts, or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who trains while others sleep, runs businesses, films movies, and still puts in the reps, or Beyoncé, who rehearses 12-hour days to perfect one performance. These aren't people who kind of wanted it. These are people who committed on a level most can't even understand. And here's what they all knew. Your work ethic is the proof of how bad you really want it. Anyone can talk about goals. Anyone can post motivational quotes. But when the alarm goes off before dawn, when the grind feels endless, when the excitement wears off, and it's just you, your dream, and a long to-do list, that's where the winners separate themselves. Because while others are scrolling, you're studying. While others are sleeping, you're building. While others are waiting, you're creating. And no, it won't be glamorous. No, it won't be easy. It might feel like no one notices, like no one cares. But that's the test. Success doesn't just ask for effort. It demands obsession. You've got to want it so badly that you're willing to do what others won't. Work longer, work smarter, work when it's inconvenient. Be the last to quit and the first to show up. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to outwork everyone else in the room. And that is something you control. Because effort, that's a choice. Consistency, that's a habit. Discipline, that's a decision you make every single day. It's about showing up when you feel like giving up. It's about doing the hard thing over and over until it becomes your standard. And if you're serious about success, you can't work like the average person, because you're not chasing average goals. You want something different. Then move different, work different, think different, show up different. Let others call it extreme. Let them call you obsessed. Let them whisper that you're doing too much. Because while they're watching, judging, and waiting, you're grinding. And eventually they'll be watching your results. You'll walk across the stage. You'll close the deal. You'll live the life they said you couldn't have. Not because it was handed to you, but because you earned it. Hour by hour, day by day, grind by grind. That's not luck. That's not talent alone. That's crazy work ethic. And it's the one thing nobody can take from you. So lace up, lock in, do the work. Because success doesn't respond to dreams. It responds to hustle. And if you want to be great, remember this. Success demands a certain level of crazy. And it starts by outworking everyone else.
Yes.
Here's a hard truth. You will fall. You will fail. You will break down. But that doesn't mean the dream is over. That's not the end of your story. Because what really separates the successful from everyone else is not who never fell. It's who refused to stay down. Success is not a straight road. It's not clean. It's not predictable. It's not something you conquer once and then coast. It's a war. A battle of who can take the most hits and still get up swinging. And to survive that, to thrive through that, you need crazy resilience. Resilience is the ability to keep showing up when everything inside you screams to stop. It's the ability to rise again when everyone expected you to stay broken. It's being told no 100 times and still believing in your yes. Let's be real. Most people quit too early. They hit one obstacle and think it's a sign to give up. They fail once and decide it's not meant to be. They hear criticism and believe it. They get tired, discouraged, embarrassed, and they walk away. But the great ones, they see pain as fuel. They see setbacks as setups. They understand that failure isn't a wall. It's a mirror, showing you where to grow. Think about Thomas Edison. Over 1,000 failed attempts to invent the light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail so many times, he didn't even flinch. He said, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work." That's resilience. That's crazy. And that's exactly what it takes. Michael Jordan once said he missed over 9,000 shots in his career, lost almost 300 games, and missed 26 game-winning shots.
Here.
He said, "I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Resilience is not about never getting tired. It's about pushing through when you're tired. It's not about pretending you're okay.
Here.
It's about standing back up even when you're bruised, crying and doubting everything. Let's be honest. Life will test you. You will experience setbacks that shake your confidence. You'll face moments where you wonder, is it even worth it?
Here.
And you'll have to answer that question with action, not excuses. And when you do, you'll begin to build something unstoppable. inside you. Something the world can't break, something no failure can silence, something no critic can weaken. That's what resilience does.
Yeah.
It turns pain into power. It turns losses into lessons. It turns doubt into drive. And just like belief and work ethic, resilience isn't a gift you're born with. It's built. Every time you keep going, every time you push through discomfort, every time you choose courage over comfort,
Yeah.
you don't become unstoppable by winning every round. You become unstoppable because you refuse to stay down in any round. Remember this, there's no guarantee of success, but if you refuse to quit, you are guaranteed one thing: growth.
Yeah.
And growth always leads to greater strength, sharper vision, and unshakable confidence. The world doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most determined. It belongs to the ones who keep rising. So when life knocks you flat, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now?
Yeah.
Don't waste energy on the fall. Focus on the comeback. Because your story isn't defined by the moment you fell. It's defined by the moment you got back up. And if that takes being a little crazy to keep going when most people quit, so be it. Wear that label with pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in the end, resilience is the ultimate form of strength. And if you've made it this far, there's one thing that's already true about you. You're not average. You're a fighter. You're a finisher. You're resilient.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. Because success demands a certain level of crazy, and it's the resilient ones who earn it. So what have we learned? Success isn't about fitting in. It's not about doing what's safe, what's easy, or what's expected. It's about standing out, dreaming wildly,
Yeah.
believing boldly, working relentlessly, and rising fearlessly. And you'll sometimes, that looks a little crazy. Crazy to see something no one else sees. Crazy to believe in yourself when no one else will. Crazy to work harder than everyone around you.
Yeah.
You were born to take that fire in your gut, the one people try to dim, and turn it into fuel for something unstoppable. You were born to build, to lead, to rise, to prove that the impossible just takes longer. So let them laugh, let them roll their eyes.
Yeah.
Because you worked like your future depended on it, and it did. Because you were resilient enough to finish what you started. The truth is, you don't need the world's approval. You don't need everyone to understand your vision. You just need one thing: the courage to keep going, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when the voices around you tell you to quit. Because in the end, success won't ask if you were normal. It won't ask if you fit in. It will ask one thing: did you have the guts to go all in? So the next time someone calls you crazy for chasing your dream, smile, because you know the secret. Success demands a certain level of crazy, and you're just crazy enough to make it happen. Funko.